Hello again. The price of Bitcoin is $34,153 and it has been trending slightly downwards today. I have a couple of trades open. This one is $44,000 in a profit. This one is $23,000 in a profit. And I've already taken about $46,000 in a profit. So, I mean, not bad so far. Pretty good week as far as weeks go. However, what is coming next? Because the ETF stuff, when it gets approved, we all know it's going to move the market. That seems evidently clear at this point in time. And I think this is the calm before the storm. I think at this point, it's probably going to be next week that we see the Bitcoin ETF launch. I think there are so many bullish catalysts in the crypto market right now. We're going to go through some of those in today's video. We're going to assess what is going on with the price of Bitcoin and where we can expect the price of Bitcoin to go from here. And I'm going to explain to you my entry and exit levels for the trades that I've got open. And if you're interested in that, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, just press that button down there. We're growing so fast on this channel, like 40 new subscribers every day. So consistent, actually. Thank you very much for subscribing to everybody that is new. And let's crack on. So starting out, you can see here, I've been buying in this range down here, especially down there. If you actually zoomed in on the chart around there and went to the 1 second chart, you'll see that I did a fair bit of buying when the price dropped down a few moments ago. I don't know if it's going to load correctly. There you go. You can see that each one of these times I pressed buy, that is one Bitcoin. My overall actual position size at this point in time is 1.9 million US dollars, plus the trade that I've got open here on BITGET, that is a $200,000 long position, making us currently at a ridiculous $2.1 million long. Now, you might ask yourself, is that sane? Is that a sensible idea? No, it is not. But you don't get rich without making stupid decisions every now and again. And no, they're not stupid decisions. They are educated. And there's a lot of thought and effort that's gone into planning out these trades. And so we are going to discuss the entry and exit levels for these trades because I don't intend on losing any money. Just thought it's quite funny that middle of a bear market still technically and 2.1 million long. Like, why not? You know, the market's coming back. At the end of the day, you make the most money at the start of a market coming back. The least amount of money is made towards the back end of a bull run. The most amount of money is made at the start. And if we're going to have an ETF approval and the price of Bitcoin is going to pump like crazy, I think we're going to see some very significant moves in the market. I think one of the things that we saw today, which was not necessarily confidence inspiring, and I brought it up on the live stream, was the fact that everybody got really excited that the price of Ethereum pumped, and it's been pumping for a while. Of course, it's been following the trend that Bitcoin had. And this morning, the price of Ethereum pumped again, and everybody was really excited. It had gone from here at about $1,795 up to $1,850. And now it's below where it started again. So that's not the best thing to be seeing. But the question is, why did that happen? And I said, look, what's going to happen here is we've rallied up in terms of Ethereum's Bitcoin value. We're just going to drop in terms of Ethereum's Bitcoin value. They're going to take profit on that trade. And my expectation next time out is that they actually slam all of that profit into Bitcoin longs. That's what I'm expecting here. Generally in the past, we've seen it whereby Ethereum has these short-term pumps when if Bitcoin is doing really well, and all of that profit then ends up actually going back into Bitcoin. And technically it has gone back into Bitcoin because it's been traded. Ethereum has been sold off against Bitcoin in order to basically fund more Bitcoin purchases. So that's what's been going on with Ethereum this past 24 hours. So let's discuss what's going on with Bitcoin. $34,110. Currently pennanting outwards like we were yesterday. We broke to the downside of the pennant that I drew in yesterday's video, but we've seemed to have found a nice little level of support. And I've just noticed something else pretty interesting. And you could plot this, and it's probably not the most accurate way of plotting something, but you could potentially say that we've got a potential, and it is only a potential inverse head and shoulders here, with the neckline being here and a break to the upside being expected. That could be just me reaching for something that doesn't actually exist. And so just bear that in mind. That's probably not the most best way of trading this stuff. From my perspective, though, we keep touching the bottom of the VWAP, which means that we are probably due a pump up pretty soon. I'm not saying that we can't go down any lower. I mean, the lowest of this range here, before I'm getting worried, is about here, where it's about $33,740. So a loss of $33,700. I'm getting out of my trades. I'm not taking a loss on anything. I want some nice significant profit. So below that level, I'll be looking to take a profit on all of my trades, apart from the one on BitGet that I'd leave open because the entry is really, really low. So aside from that, It's this level here that we're watching. So long as we abide by this level and hold that level of support, there's no reason to be concerned by Bitcoin. Ultimately, we're just flagging out right now in this narrowing range. And if you were to draw a level of support here to go, okay, well, that's the level of support that we seem to be abiding by. It's something like this. It's not terrible anyway. I can guarantee that it's not looking absolutely horrendous. It's just we're not trading below this level of support here yet. So that we've got to be realistic about the downside and the upside. And the upside at the moment is tremendous, and the downside is just a little bit scary, but only because I've got such a huge position open. If it weren't such a big position, it wouldn't be really that scary at all. I mean, worst case scenario at this point in time, we drop down to about $33,000, and then I take a huge long of 33 and we bounce back to the upside. So it's not really anything to be dramatically concerned by. It's just that I think that sentiment changed slightly today in that people have slightly less confidence. But I'm one of those people that a little bit of a price change in Bitcoin doesn't alter my sentiment. I understand Bitcoin goes up and it goes down, and just because it's not going up consistently 4% every single day doesn't mean that we're suddenly bearish again. I mean, look at the chart. The chart is as bullish as what it's been for years at this point. It looks amazing out there on the market. You'd be insane to be betting against this. And that's my perspective on when it comes to longing and shorting right now. I just think that you're insane if you're opening big shorts. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the time now is to open shorts. But from my perspective, it's just not that kind of market for me. I don't think that I want to be in a short position right now. I think it's trying to tempt people into shorting. But then if you think about it logically, look, if Bitcoin rallies up to $37,000, which is the next target for Bitcoin, well, if it's going to go up to $37,000, you're going to get wrecked if you were shorting 10x at these levels. And that's, for me, what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to bring up the daily chart right now on the screen. This is the daily chart. We're going to go for price targets for the current trades. Now you can see here, entire bull run, entire bear market, where we are now. In terms of that, this purple line is the target for this Bitcoin trade. This purple line is sitting at $37,000. We don't have that much further to go, but given that we broke through this level of resistance, it seems logical for me that we would rally up to that level. The only other logical scenario I can see arriving here would be perhaps a retest and a confirmation bounce off of the outside of this here, which would be a drop down to about $33,000, $1,000 below where Bitcoin's price currently sits. It would somewhat make sense, but I'm not taking that trade. I'm going to keep averaging in at and around these levels and maybe slightly lower as well, in anticipation that we do actually break the upside. Now, when is that upside break going to come? Well, that depends on a number of different things. You've got high US investor buying pressure, low fund ETF buying pressure, because one doesn't exist yet, and low Korean investors buying pressure. But I don't know why that's a smiley face. Why is that a smiley face? The price gap between South Korean exchanges and other exchanges, high premium values could indicate retail investors' strong buying pressure. I don't know why it's a smiley face. Really, that should be a sad face. But either way, we've got high US investor sentiment and high US investor buying pressure. Another reason why the price of Bitcoin is down slightly today is because A, the DXY has been rallying back to the upside, and B, the S&P 500 is down 0.64% again, continuing its decline. This is the hourly chart, and this is actually quite a sizable drop over the course of the past month or so on the S&P 500. If we actually measure the size of this drop right here, you can see that if we zoom in on the chart, come on, focus, there we go. 9.74% over the past 91 days on the S&P 500. That's a pretty sizable drop-off, is that, in terms of the price. But, to me, looks fairly well like that's probably rallying as fast as it can to the downside, so there's probably not that much more downside in it. I just think that given the way the markets are performing, we are definitely teetering on the side of bullish rather than bearish. It's just that markets want to tempt people into shorting right now, and I'm just not buying into it. That's my take on the whole thing. The main reason being that BlackRock Bitcoin ETF added to eligibility file says clearinghouse DTCC confirmed by Reuters, and that isn't something that's pretty standard for all ETFs that are going to get listed on the stock market. So just bear that in mind. There's also another piece of news today about JP Morgan saying an SEC rejection of spot Bitcoin ETF could lead to lawsuits, meaning that it's very unlikely that they actually do reject the spot Bitcoin ETF and very highly likely that they accept it. It's just so many things going on in the world of crypto right now that you've just got to keep an eye on, you've got to be careful of, and you've got to make sure you make the right decisions in this market. For me, those decisions are buying Bitcoin spot, increasing my leverage on that spot Bitcoin by trading it, and then hoping for the best. Altcoins will come. but Bitcoin has to go first. So on that note, if you are interested in trading, check out the link to BYBIT and BitGet in today's video description. If you're in the UK, BitGet is the best exchange to use because you can't use BYBIT anymore. So check out BitGet. You will find a link for it in today's video description. And yeah, BYBIT is a really good exchange if you're outside of the UK. But on that note, thank you very much for watching. Everything in today's video was educational and informational. And I hope you have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.